Bago ako magmahal ng iba, mamahalin ko muna ang sarili ko. Mag-iipon muna ako ng pag-ibig. Pag-ibig regular savings. Earn 25 times more sa contributions mo. Ang contributions mo, ipon mo. Mas malaking contribution, mas malaking ipon. I'm worth it. I deserve pag-ibig.
Freelancing or running your own business is not all fun and games the way most people make it out to be. Check out TaxSumo. It lets freelancers, business owners, and self-employed professionals file taxes online in minutes. That way, you can focus more on your passion and stop worrying on taxes. Sign up with us at www.taxsumo.com.
Ever wanted to become a detective? Be part of an elite bomb squad. Train to become a wizard? Or survive a horror mystery? We have just the experience for you at Mystery Manila. Be trapped with friends in one room. Solve one mystery. All within an hour. With only one way out. Are you up for the challenge? We offer online team building activities via Zoom, as well as escape room games in our branches. Check out www.mysterymanila.com.
Online mo pala mahahanap ang bagong virtual pag-ibig. One click, you can track your savings. Easily pay for your loans. Even live chat with us. And now, apply for a short-term loan.
Sign up for the virtual pag-ibig account today.
Hello mga investees at mga convincers, ang mangpanig ng mundo kayo naroon ngayon. Sana ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. Ayan, nakikita nyo po ha, huling installment ng ating interview sa mga Miss Universe Philippines winners ngayong gabi. At mamaya makakapanayam natin si Michelle Marquez Dee. Pero bago yan, tayo po muna ay mag-attendance check dito sa ating pera-aralan dahil tayo ay nasa ating Usapang Pera. Pakisabi lang po ang inyong city, province, or country kung nasaan kayo ngayon at ilang taon kayo nung kayo ay bumukod sa inyong mga magulang. Ako technically, bumukod ako nung, I think I was 17 kasi magka-college na dito sa Maynila. Pero yung bumukod na talagang financially independent ay after graduation. Ako, I was 21 years old at that time. Kasama natin si Bebeng ngayon. Hello sa iyo, Bebeng. Si Septem. Si Septem, hello Sir Vince, nag-good evening sa atin. Good evening din sa iyo. Si Kaide ay maayong gabi. Oy, Bisaya, maayong gabi din sa imo, Kaide Tamon. Si Juvie ay watching from Riyadh. Si Daisy ay nanonood sa Kawit, Cavite. Kasama din natin si Sep M pala ay nasa Cagayan de Oro. Okay. At from Hong Kong naman si Kaide. Si Hazel, kasama din natin, nasa Cagayan de Oro din siya. Si Avery ay nasa Quezon City. At si Mori, ang ating suki, ay syempre nandito, nanonood sa Pasay City, hindi pa niya siguro duty, ano? Ayan, okay, sige. So, isulat nyo lang po kung saang city, province, or country kung nasaan kayo ngayon. At itatry po natin na habulin na kayo ay batiin mamaya, no? At syempre, hindi na natin patatagalin pa, no? Kasi ang napakaganda, nakita ko nga yung suot niya nainggit ako sa suot niya, sa totoo lang, nung nakita ko siya sa backstage kanina. Gusto ko ring magpalit at magganyang damit, di ba? Babagay kaya sa akin. Anyway, so without further ado, ay i-welcome po natin ang ating guest ngayong gabi, si Michelle Marquez Dee, ang Miss Universe Philippines. Sorry. Ang Miss Universe Philippines Tourism. Ayan. Okay. So, hello, Michelle.
Hello to everyone and thank you, Sir Vince, for having me here. This is such an interesting topic. Medyo excited na ako. Siyempre, usapang pera tayo eh.
Oo. Money makes the world go round, sabi nga, di ba? Ayan. Okay, sige. So, umpisahan na natin ang ating interview with you. So, nanalo ka ng Miss World Philippines noong 2019. Ano yung nag-motivate sa'yo na sumali sa Miss Universe Philippines? Miss World Philippines ka na.
You know, I've always believed naman kasi talaga na life doesn't stop with one goal. After you finish one achievement, you want another goal to try and succeed in also. Of course, when I joined Miss World the first time, I knew I gave 100% of myself. I wouldn't change a single thing. But then life happened and it just so happened that I had so much growth within myself, growth within my personality and my mindset that I felt that I still had so much to offer for our country. And you know, when it was approaching the days where I was supposed to where I submitted the application form, I just took so many different universal signs to just try again. And I knew that if I didn't, then I would regret that decision in the future. I function that way kasi. No regrets dapat tayo.
Correct, Oo. So, parang, ilan na kayo na naging Miss World, tapos naging Miss Universe? Sorry. Nalilito ako. Akala ko ikaw na yung winner. Oy, nako, nagdidilang anghel ako. Sa next na laban mo, ikaw na, Michelle. Kanina pa ako, Wait lang. Okay.
You're telling the future ata right now, Sir Vince.
Nagpo-portal yata ako ngayon. Ayun. And of course, syempre, kilala ka bilang anak ni Miss Melanie Marquez, no? Ang Miss International 1979. Isang taon after that, 1978 ako pinanganak So 1 year old ako noon nung nag-Miss International si Mami, di ba? Anong natutunan mo kay Mami na nakatulong sa iyo in competing in pageants?
You know, I think I can dabble on about, you know, the walk training and the physical training, but kailangan ko siya bigyan ng credit where it was most helpful sa akin. It was the mindset. She didn't raise us around the showbiz light. She showed us how to be strong within ourselves, to know our own identity, not to be a copycat of whoever it is. And that's what I always held, you know, close to my heart during all of my competitions is you have to know what's beautiful inside of you and you have to show the world or the universe rather what in store. It's really the mindset. My mom has such a strong personality, and the reason why she's accomplished so much is because she was never shy of expressing herself in the way that she felt necessary, and that's what I, you know, wanted to do as well.
Kung i-compare mo the way that she competed, of course, siguro naman pinanood mo nung nag-compete siya.
Of course.
How would you compare yung competition sa pageant ngayon at noon?
I mean, generally kasi ang dami ng pinagbago sa mundo ng pageantry from, you know, production or the way it's marketed, what's expected from the girls. Also, medyo magkaibang mundo na. There are some similarities, but there are more differences than anything else. And you have to consider then that I never competed in the Miss International pageant. And each pageant has their own identity. And they're looking for something different also. So I think the only similarities would be the kind of pressure of carrying the weight of your country on an international stage. Pero, I mean, Siyempre, my mom won eh. Ako, I didn't win internationally pa.
Malapit na, malapit. Oo. So, kung titignan natin, no, ano yung tatak na Michelle D at ano yung tatak na Melanie Marquez?
I would say na it's really my fierceness that,
Mhm.
labels me. Because I thrive off of my confidence. Even if I'm insecure about something, people on the exterior will see me as confident. My
Mhm.
mom, her self assurance
Mhm.
definitely is what makes her thrive.
Mhm.
She'll do anything to get what she wants, and she
Oo.
knows how to get what she wants. She knows how
Oo.
to work for it. Her origin story is so inspiring.
Mhm.
And my mom is one of my biggest idols. So I can never ever say that I'm at her level. Even let's say in another universe I won and there was a different alternative ending, I still would see my mom as on a different level as compared to me. Siyempre,
Grabe.
idolo ko yun.
Oo, oo. Oo naman 'no, ako din 'no, parang yung nanay ko ay iba 'no, iba yung nanay at hindi
Iba
natin
talaga.
kompetensya ang nanay, 'di ba?
Yeah, it's really hard because it depends na lang who's asking. What do
Mhm.
they want to know in terms of pageant performance pa or mindset or which pageant yung nasalihan? It's really different than the added pressure pa of being mother and daughter. Kaya iba
Yeah.
talaga.
Oo, oo. Okay. So, you graduated psychology in De La Salle University in 2017, ano? And
Hmm.
ito ba yung dahilan bakit ka nagkaroon ng advokasya on autism?
Actually, backstory ng college life ko, I started with biology. So it
Ah.
was something of my interest. My favorite subject in college was actually biology.
Mhm.
Um, and then while I was studying, I realized na parang like going through that whole medicine route wasn't for me at the time.
Mhm.
And then I it was kind of like an inkling kasi when I
Mhm.
shifted courses after 2 years. That's why I graduated in 2017 because I shifted late out of my original course.
Mhm.
And I actually have always been surrounded by individuals that, need psychological evaluation. Like I have family members with diagnosed mental disabilities. And of course, I grew up with two autistic siblings also.
Okay, that's why. Oh, pero
One
ano, just
older
a
and
side
one
note, ako
younger.
naman ano 'no, ako ay may, major depressive disorder. So it's an
Mhm.
invisible illness 'no, a lot of people would
Yes.
see na parang, ang saya-saya ni Sir Vince, ganyan. Pero naku, inside ano na pala, malungkot na. Pero I'm not in that mode right now. My last episode was in 2016, 1 year bago ka graduate.
Really nice. I
Ayan,
mean,
so wait, may autism yung, siblings mo, tama ba? Did I hear it
yes.
right?
My kuya and my younger brother, they were both born with autism.
Okay. How many, siblings kayo?
6 in total, including
6 in
myself.
total? Oo, oo.
Yes.
Okay, tapos dalawa yung nasa spectrum ano? Actually ako
Yeah.
ano nga, aliw na aliw akong manood ng mga, TV shows na nasa spectrum, 'di ba? Napanood mo ba 'yun? Love in the Spectrum ba 'yun or something sa
Love in the
Netflix?
Spectrum, no. But I've seen The Good Doctor,
Aha.
Atypical. I think at the Attorney Woo, I started watching
Yes! I was
episode 2 pa lang now, and it's
Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
it's okay not to be okay also. There's
Mm.
a character on the spectrum. And
Mm.
I love it. I love it when they shed awareness on kids on the spectrum because it makes you realize that they're full of potential. They're not
Right.
just, confined within a certain label of being
Aha,
autistic.
aha.
Okay. I love it.
Oo. So, how should one, ano 'no, treat people in the spectrum?
I think we're off to a great start. I work closely with Autism Society Philippines, and we've been making a lot of waves in terms of awareness, both government and educational. But you also see these big corporations transitioning into being more aware. it's so important for all of us to not just tolerate but to accept anybody that's on this spectrum or is diagnosed, because we all have our individual needs, we all have our different ways of coping. And I think the first thing is to be accountable for our actions. I mean, if you have no ill intentions for anyone, then you shouldn't have ill intentions for anybody that acts a little bit different than what's generally accepted as normal. So it's
Correct.
really just being self-aware with your own actions, because autistic or not, you just have to treat everybody with love and kindness.
Oo. Actually, ito pa nga yung sabi ko, dapat ito yung nilagay din aside from autism dito sa interview. Kasi I was reading na LGBTQIA+ advocate ka rin pala.
Yes, of course. Mental health, LGBT, and autism are my big
Ah,
issues,
oo.
of course.
So kami lang, yeah, sorry.
I mean, definitely, it's a beautiful community, and more
Mhm.
people should be aware of that. We shouldn't discriminate. I'm all for equality,
Mhm.
and your label does not define your capabilities, and
Right.
we should be aware of that.
Oo. Kami ng partner ko, si Edwin, ano 'no, nagko-co-host din siya minsan sa akin dito, nagkukulitan kami. 20 years na kami, o 'di ba? Kaya lang ayaw kaming
Wow!
ikasal, nakakainis. Ayun,
Congratulations, though. Grabe.
thank you. And then ang isa din ay pinag-usapan nga namin na yung nasa spectrum, sabi ko kay Edwin, no, pangalan ng partner ko ay Edwin. Sabi ko, Edwin, feeling ko talaga alam nila yung secrets of the universe. Hindi lang natin ma-penetrate pa kung ano yung nasa mind nila, because
Mm-mm.
I think they're in a different plane, 'di ba?
But
And
honestly, they are so talented.
oo.
They have their unique abilities talaga,
Mhm.
that you can only imagine. Like, I can't do what they do. My
Mhm.
older brother, he can solve a 5,000 piece puzzle in less than half a day.
Yeah,
My younger
oo.
brother naman, human calendar, human history book. He'll remember anything and solve
Oo.
math problems like that. I mean, I suck at math, honestly.
Oo, oo. So did they go to a special school for them, or paano yung
Yes.
school nila?
So they had in the States, kasi that's one of the things that we're advocating for here in the Philippines, is for more educational inclusion. So while they're in the States, they are part of the educational system and they get help from the government, and they're regularly seeing therapists. When they're
Mhm.
here, they have the regular therapists also, and we've structured their life around, making sure that they're productive also,
Right.
making sure that they have everything that they need.
Oo.
So,
Actually, yun nga yung nakakainggit sa sa mga developed countries, kahit na may disability, pero kaya pa rin mag-function at maging productive members of society. Dito sa
yeah.
Pilipinas, naku, ang hirap, 'di ba?
Yeah, but our the advocacy that I support, Autism Awareness Philippines, we have this campaign. It's called Autism Works, where companies like SM, they employ individuals on the spectrum.
That's
I,
nice.
I actually did a video on that. Yun nga lang for my first pageant. It was really just showcasing these autistic individuals in the working class.
Oo. At least may mga opportunities na ngayon na nagka-come about. And thanks to you, you're giving you're using your your platform to advocate for people to understand
Yes.
autism. Ayan, okay. Pero syempre, ang ating pinag-uusapan talaga ay usapang pera, no? At mayroon kaming tinanong sa poll namin, kung meron bang mga farm investment yung ating mga followers sa Facebook at saka sa YouTube. At ito yung lumabas, no, na resulta. So 18% yung merong silang farm, yung family nila mismo ay into farming. Tapos yung 4% naman ay mayroon sila at sila ay kasamak. Alam mo ba yung kasamak?
Kasamak, no, not familiar.
Parang may tenants sila, no, na sila
Okay,
yung
okay.
they're the ones tending sa farm. Okay, tapos meron naman 3% pinapaupahan nila, 2% meron through crowdfunding, tapos 73% ang wala, no? Sa farming. Okay. May tapos nabasa din namin Michelle na ikaw ay lumaki sa ranch. Tama
Yes,
ba? Sa
yes, tama,
Utah.
tama.
Ayan. Connect natin ang farm at saka ang ranch. Diba? So tell us about your experience sa ranch.
So I moved to the States at around 3 years old. So lumakit talaga ako sa rancho. I fell in love with adrenaline, horses, the whole lifestyle of living on a ranch. It's definitely amazing. Yun nga lang, when you're building your career, you want to be somewhere that's more ambitious. But it's a whole different world.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I feel like I was always at peace, but at the same time I was also very young in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? But I'm very lucky that I was raised by my mom and my stepdad, who actually taught me the value of, valuing money, earning for what you have or what you want. And growing up on a ranch really instilled that in my head. Grabe nangangabayo ako doon. Like kung ano-anong ranch chores yung ginagawa ko doon. And
Right.
it was really fun. And it's not just in Utah, we actually own an agriculture company in Bacolod as well.
Okay. Marunong ka ba maghiligay nun nga ba ang Bacolod?
Hindi, I wish. I don't.
Okay. Anyway, going back to farming. Anong masasabi mo sa mga kabataan ngayon na ayaw nang ma-involve sa farming dito sa Pilipinas? Actually, alam mo, Michelle, ang wish ko lang, isa sa mga beauty queens din ay mag-adapt na ang kanilang advocacy ay agri-sector, making agriculture sexy again, di ba?
I'm sure sa dami nating beauty queens, I'm sure one of them is advocating for that. Pero to answer your question, I think it's all about awareness. Because right now there's a growing trend on what's healthy and what you consume within your body. In Bacolod, what we farm is actually sugarcane and molasses and other more organic vegetables and stuff like that. Pero I think depending on the kind of community or audience you're talking to, you have to relay what they can benefit from it. Syempre kasi when you say farming, nasa field ka lang, but there's so much more to it. There's so
Right.
much on a business level and on a social economic level. And there are so many opportunities with this growing trend that you can capitalize on as well.
Right.
Kaya, diba, it's just, some people kasi they're not masipag enough to do that kind of research. But if you show it to them firsthand of the potential of the industry, then I'm sure at least one person will be converted.
Oo. Ayun. Okay. And then we also asked our followers on social media, no? At tinanong namin ito, no? Ano yung gustong paraan ng pagyaman, no? Galing sa trabaho, negosyo or investment. So, yung paraan ng kumikita, socially responsible at environment friendly. Tapos ang isang option ay basta kumikita lang. Tapos yung another option ay kumikita kahit nagpapahirap sa iba at naninira sa kalikasan. Nakakaloka, may 3% na sumagot nun. Ikaw,
Pagod lang.
anong isasagot mo dito?
For me, kasi ever since I was young, I've always believed that in order to reach financial freedom, you have to create multiple revenue streams for yourself. And I'm not gonna badmouth anybody, kanya-kanyang paraan yan. But for me kasi, syempre, I grew up with values. Kaya everything that I get myself involved in, kailangan medyo align sa values or my personality, or at least it's something I'm interested in. So, ayun, basta kumikita ng pera. Just don't step on anybody else's toes because I believe in karma at the same time. So whatever you give out to the universe will come back to you tenfold.
Right, oo. Kasi kami, although yung show natin is called Usapang Pera, pero we actually promote what we call social investments. Ano? And I'll get into that later. Pero ang itanong ko muna, nako, grabe naman, ang dami-dami mo namang na nagagawa, Michelle, kasi nakita ko rin dito sa aming research that you completed a certificate program from the Harvard Business School
Yes.
online on entrepreneurship essentials. Curious lang ako, was social entrepreneurship introduced in the course?
Um, yes, we touched on it. It wasn't a whole course naman, but we touched on its value and importance around the world.
Mhm. Ayun, no? So, just magbigay lang ko ng lecturette ng kaunti, no? For the benefit of, not you, kasi nakuha mo na to, but for our viewers. Ayan, so ang social entrepreneurship po, mga kaibigan, kinocombine niya yung entrepreneurial activities with a social mission. So sa words ng ating Miss Universe 2015, sabi niya, no, doing business with the heart. Ayan. So, triple bottom line yung social entrepreneurship. Meron tayong bottom line measurement for profit, kailangan kumikita, pero dapat hindi natin inaapakan ang ibang tao katulad ng sabi ni Michelle, ano. Actually, hindi nga dapat lang inaapakan dapat tinutulungan pang iangat. Ayan. O, nakita niyo ba yung kamay namin sabay pang gumanon, di ba? And of course, planet, because we have to take care of our environment. Nag-iisa lang po ito, no? So, yun, yung social entrepreneurship, mayroon siyang social mission, and at the same time, you're trying to achieve your social mission or fulfill your social mission through the entrepreneurial activity. Ayan, magpa-pop quiz tayo ng kaunti, ano? So, kung ikaw, Michelle, magtatayo ng social enterprise, do you have any ideas?
Actually, I feel like it's not an idea because ginagawa ko naman right now, the startup that I'm launching very soon. It's within the blockchain Web3 space. So it's very forward thinking. I really believe in the whole potential of this whole industry. Like, I fangirl about it. I know it's the future and it's the perfect time to capitalize on that. But of course, when I was building the business plan of it, there are so many people around this world that try to, exploit this and try to take advantage of, blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and then try to take advantage of other people's hard-earned money. Whereas I guess advocacy on my company is making sure that, one, I'm able to empower Filipinos compete against, the more developed countries, because this industry actually gives us the same level of entry into the blockchain space. So I'm empowering Filipino brands, communities, artists in the best way I can. And of course, it's medyo nerdy, the technicalities of it, but the network that we work with has to be, yung zero carbon emissions. It's very
of course.
the projects that we can utilize under the company also can have its CSR or corporate social responsibilities, or also for our own advocacies, where I transition them into the Web3 space, or create products that will benefit my advocacies. And the sky's the limit talaga.
Interesting, no? Kasi actually, that's a space that social entrepreneurs should get into. Kasi kung it's really the future, totoo, tama yan, ano? And it's really just unfortunate na sobrang dami lang talagang nagte-take advantage na sa mali ginagamit at ginagawa yung blockchain at saka yung mga cryptocurrencies and even NFTs, no? In general. But meron lang ako, nakasagap din ako ng chismis, no? Michelle.
Ang daming mga chismis.
Nabasa ko na you recently moved in with your friend, Rian Ramos, no? Is this the first time that you lived independently from your parents?
Well, clarification, we're moving in this week. So our whole move-in process, if you see the rest of my house, it's medyo magulo right now. But first time, no, I've been living independently since 20, 16, I believe, a year before I graduated.
Mhm.
But this is the first time that I'm moving in with a friend. Of course,
Aha.
I've had friends stay with me for an extended period of time, maybe 1 month, 1 week, ganon, because I
Mhm.
live in a two-bedroom condo.
Mhm.
But this will be the first like long-term commitment, living
Aha.
with a friend, you know.
Are you live in a condominium or in a house or?
I live in a condominium right now.
Ayan. Interesting. Actually kasi kami, nung college, kasi laking probinsya kami. So nung nag-college kami, ganyan, mga housemates talaga. So
Mhm.
parang norm siya, no? At what do you think is, ano yung pros and cons financially ng living with your peers?
Well, the whole reason why we're actually moving in together is because yung dalawa naming kabarkada live in the same village. And then,
Mm.
syempre, nainggit kami. But these two people kasi at the time already had, one was getting married, the other one had a family. It
Aha.
really didn't make sense for us to rent a house individually.
Aha.
It wouldn't serve, I guess, its purpose of actually getting a bigger space, and
Mhm.
we wouldn't be able to maximize that size on our own,
Mhm.
especially because
Mhm.
both of us are independent. So we just thought of it as a really fun idea to experience this, because I've always lived in a condo when I lived independently. Same with her. She's only lived in a condo when she lived independently then. Kaya it's definitely going to be an interesting experience. But syempre, this is something we've been planning, I think, 2 years ago pa. So we had a
Oh,
lot of trial and errors. It wasn't like biglaan. We had to
bigla.
plan properly. We had to make sure that, we had the same kind of energy. And
Mhm.
I guess one of our our biggest requirements was that we rented a house that would give us enough space if we needed it too.
Correct, no? Kasi kailangan nyo ng me time.
Separation, of course. So all of those were taken into account.
Mhm.
And financially naman, of course, it's so much easier just splitting the cost with somebody than shouldering everything on your own.
That's right.
I think it was a good move on us. Well, no. We'll see. Hindi pa natin alam eh.
Oo, oo. At isa pa, meron pa akong nakita. O, papakita natin 'tong picture na 'to. O, 'di ba?
Yun.
Kaloka.
Adrenaline.
Oo. So, ano ka daw pala, adrenaline junkie, ano? So,
Yeah.
tell us about this picture.
Well, this picture was actually shot when I was shooting a movie with sila Jasmine Curtis and Ruru Madrid. And I
Mhm.
was playing a very strong, empowered woman that raced on a
Mhm.
motorcycle.
Mhm.
And, I've always loved, I think I credit this to the ranch or to my mom or something, but I've always had the thrill of being in danger, doing something challenging. I'm such an adrenaline junkie by heart. Talaga.
Oo.
So when I got this inquiry for this role, I was like, let's do it, game.
Aha.
Yun.
Ay.
And I guess I'm just happy that it was one of my interests growing up. Of course,
Mhm.
medyo pinagbawalan ako ng parents ko until I actually had the capacity to buy one for myself.
Ayan. So, pupunta tayo diyan, ano?
Ayun.
Kasi kasi of course ano no, yung nagiging mode of transportation na ng karamihan ngayon ay motorsiklo.
Yes, yes.
Parang actually nung 15 years ago when we were in Saigon, nakita na namin yan na sobrang daming mga motorsiklo. Tapos dito sa Pilipinas, nagka-catch up na rin siya, no? So, gumawa ko ng ano no, ng guidelines sa pagbili ng motorsiklo. So,
Oh my
makaka-relate
God.
ka dito. Ayan. So, ikaw, so how were you able to, sabi mo nga, no, you got your motorcycle. How did you purchase it? Paano mo siya nabili?
So I actually paid for it straight up, cash. Well,
Ah!
technically bank transfer. Technically bank transfer.
Oo,
But
hindi,
yeah,
pero
straight
very
up.
good. Very good. Kasi yaan, no, yung guide in buying a motorcycle, ang pinaka-rule ko dyan ay you can't afford a motorcycle if you can't pay it in cash. O, di ba?
Yes,
Ang
yes.
brutal, 'di ba? Pero sasabihin maraming nagsasabi sa akin na, "Naku, yang si Sir Vince napaka-elitista, dapat ano, cash ang pagbibili," no? Pero, people, get me wrong about it kasi, um, uh, of psych ka kasi, hindi ko alam kung if you know the concept of depreciation?
I've learned about it.
Ayan. Oh, very good, very good. Sige.
Everything
So,
holds its value, di ba?
oo. So, ito kasing motorcycle depreciation, ayun, dali lang. Wait lang.
Uy, but that depends on the brand, huh? And if you're buying vintage or something.
Actually, regardless of the brand, no? Kasi usually
Talaga?
what happens is, usually what happens is on the first year of the of the age of the motorcycle, 25% na agad yung value na nawawala doon, no? So, yun yung nangyayari. And then on the fifth year ay ang natitira na lang ay about 61%, okay? And then pagdating ng 10th year, ayan, nawala. Pagdating ng 10th year, 83% na lang yung 83% na yung nawala sa value noong nung motorsiklo. At after 20 years, wala na, scrap metal na siya, no? 3% na lang yung natitira, no? So, gusto ko mag-react ka dito ha sa aking sasabihin. Yung kung kukuha tayo ng brand new na motorcycle, so ang dapat gagawin natin ay pay it in cash. So absolutely avoid buying a brand new through a bank loan, especially in-house financing. Kasi yung in-house financing, ito yung, it's not through the banks through the dealer mo siya kinukuha. Higher yung interest na babayaran mo dito. And ang nangyayari kasi dito, pag kinuha mo siya in a loan, you pay interest mostly on the lost value because of the depreciation. Kaya hindi ko siya gusto na ganun yung gagawin. Okay? So, ang gawin, i-trade din mo na lang yung old motorcycle mo to lower the cash payment kung meron. So, how do you buy a motorcycle? So, kung gusto mo ng brand new talaga, you pay it in cash, but what I really recommend is to buy second hand, no, para ma-skip natin yung majority ng depreciation cost which happens in the first 5 years. So 3 to 5 years old na motorcycle yung sweet spot kasi matibay-tibay pa yan, and this is also good for the environment kasi syempre di ba, nagiging kasama tayo sa recycling economy. Ayan, your reaction.
I agree and I disagree. I agree that the value of anything you buy goes down. Depende na lang on what asset you're buying into. Pero, in all fairness, kasi I'm buying a new motorcycle in the near future. I let go of one of my older bikes, and I sold it for a really, really good deal. Close to my buying price, actually.
Wow. Baka naman kasi dahil maganda ka. Hindi naman
saying that, the value of the actual motorcycle can go down, but there are things that you can still do to raise its value when the time comes to sell it. Kaya, ayun, nagkataon na my bike was in perfect running condition. I'm pretty good at negotiating a sweet deal for myself. Then, kaya discard lang, and you have to be patient. You have to know the right time is to act on a certain opportunity. Kasi I've gotten offers na kalahati lang ng presyo ng bike ko, or a little bit more than kalahati. Syempre, alam ko na I can sell it for more. So I had to wait longer.
Right.
And then, paid off naman.
That's good. Good for you, di ba?
Na buyer lang and seller.
So, pero ni-refurbish mo pa ba yung motorbike mo when you sold it, or as is?
It was really as is. I mean, I changed a few things on the bike, nothing major. And of course, before listing it, I made sure that it was in almost perfect condition.
Yeah.
Para syempre, when they test drive it, wala na talaga silang masasabi. You make them feel like they're losing out if they don't get your product.
Actually, ang sinasabi ko lang naman ay huwag tayong bumili ng mga bagay through loans. Mas maganda na pinag-iipunan natin. Kaya ako, adamant, ay talagang I'm pushing na in cash siya na babayaran or second hand mo bibilhin kung hindi mo kayang bayaran na mahal na brand new. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, di ba? Okay. So, itong portion na to, Michelle, malapit na tayong matapos. Sorry, nag-overtime tayo. I ask Sir Vince. So, ito naman ay ako yung magiging beauty contestant kasi ikaw ang magtatanong sa akin. Ayan.
I can ask you anything, no?
Sure.
What is the charot? Honestly, just to go back on our topic earlier about cryptocurrencies and blockchain, of course, cryptocurrencies is somewhat an unregulated industry pa. So as somebody that, actually invested a big, not naman big, safe amount of her investment portfolio into this industry, I'm starting up a company in the space pa. So what would be your tips to ensure that I can minimize the risk
Ah.
of this whole world? Whole new world.
The business, no? I think ang pinaka-crucial na kailangan mong i-make sure is that either the cryptocurrency or the NFT that you're developing should really have utility. May gamit talaga siya. Kasi ngayon, for example, no, ang daming debate like Bitcoin, for example, currency ba siya? Kasi kung currency siya, is it a good currency? Kung grabeng wild siya na nagfo-fluctuate.
Volatile siya.
Sobrang volatile masyado. So it's not a good form of currency, kumbaga, no? And a lot of people also think that Bitcoin or Ethereum or mga NFTs, these are investments. Pero hindi sila financial products di ba? Kaya kailangan intindihin nila ano ba yung gamit ng NFT at ano ba yung gamit ng cryptocurrency. Actually, curious ako, ano yung company, ano ba yung business model? What will it do exactly?
Well, basically, we're a multifunctional studio that helps transition the world we know now, Web 2, traditional businesses into the Web 3 space. So our main niche is focusing on creating a physical counterpart for the NFTs.
Oh, that's good. Kasi
added reassurance yung utility because we're so heavy on real world utility or blockchain utility. Kasi that's what will hold its value
Right.
For the collector.
Correct. At saka if you do that kasi nagiging asset backed na siya. Kasi may physical na, no? Hindi na lang siya digital. Kasi ako naloloko talaga ako minsan na, oh my God, yung mga NFTs na selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Parang sobra siyang hype, for me. So hindi siya good na investment. Okay? Tapos, yun, kailangan lang talaga na may utility at may underlying economic activity behind your business model. So to be on the safe space. Yan. So, ang happy naman, advance naman ng usapan natin, di ba?
Futuristic na.
Yeah. Okay, so before we let you go, of course, we want to know what's in store for Michelle. Ano ba yung aabangan namin sa'yo? Meron ka bang bagong pelikula or may love team ka ba? Sorry, hindi ko alam. Siyempre, tanda ko
Love team sana meron na. My gosh, wala sila mahanap ng kasintangkad ko Pero maraming aabangan this year from me. Not just with my entrepreneurial ventures. I launched a company with my best friend Max Collins a few weeks ago. But of course, I'm the most excited for my Web3 company that I'm launching at the end of the year. But yung mga aabangan sa showbiz life, I have 2 projects coming up. One is on October, another is on November. Yun nga lang,
secret pa.
Secret pa, abangan, but it'll be so fun to shoot. It'll be very career changing in a sense where the production is actually putting a lot of trust in me to portray this character. Kaya nakakatuwa. And of course, all of my activities with Miss Universe Philippines also kailangan pag-abangan. So actually, my schedule's been so chaotic. Kaya I'm so glad we were able to find the time to chat about money. So we
Yeah.
spoke
Oo. Pero actually, sabi mo kasi sa Instagram post mo, no, na mahal ko kayo and who knows, this might not be the last. O ano bang ibig sabihin nun, Michelle?
Siyempre, when you're as competitive as me, my biggest competitor is always myself. So I want to be able to do better than how I did previously. I
Mhm.
really believe na everything happens for a reason. Kaya
Right.
if the same thing happens to me it has to be next year kasi that's my last chance to join. It's a sign from the universe has to come to me to tell
Mhm.
me that try again. If I
Mhm.
feel kahit 1% that I will regret not joining in the future, then most likely I will. But I have to see where life takes me.
Mhm.
Because syempre last year I didn't have plans to join. It's just I had this universal sign na naman. Same
Mhm.
with my first pageant. I had a universal sign na this is it. This is what you're
Mhm.
doing. Kaya
Mhm.
anything is possible and I still feel like I have a lot to give.
Ayan, oo naman. Naku, abangan kita. Actually, hindi pa ako mahilig akong manood ng pageant, pero ang tagal kasi. So gusto ko yung na edited na. Ayoko nung live.
Highlights lang.
Highlights na. Ayan. So, maraming maraming salamat, Michelle. I had fun talking with you and good luck sa iyo next year. Pagdadasal
Thank
na.
you.
Of course,
Thank you.
I wish you well in your Web3 business venture. Ayan.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's
Ayan.
chat soon about it. Kailangan
Yeah.
pa natin ng mahabang oras.
Sige, sige, sige.
All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much for having me, Sir Vince. I had so much fun. And to everyone watching, hello and have a good night.
Ayan. Okay. So, ayan po mga kaibigan, nakita natin ang isa na namang napakagandang dilag, di ba? Kailan ba ako, Lord? Kailan ba ako magiging singganda nila? Ako si Sir Vince, ang inyong financial guro, nagsasabing ang pagyaman na pag-aaralan at napagtutulungan.